Hi and welcome to IT Chronicles 10 and Tech, coming to you from Knowledge 18 in Las Vegas. I'm Kirsty McGowan, I'm here with my co-host Carlos Casanova.
Hey Kirsty.
Hey Carlos. And we are going to be speaking with Tim Boudreau from Flexera today. Hi Tim.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, nice to have you here.
So, we've spoken on a few occasions, but really in the last 6 months or so, you guys have kind of taken on a little addition to the family, I guess, in BD&A. Tell us a little bit about that, and sort of, especially from the perspective of, for your clients, the value that you guys can deliver now with that additional capability.
Absolutely. We were very excited to pick up the BD&A platform. Last September is when that deal closed for us. And the great thing about it was it enabled us to change our messaging around an application-centric platform of software license optimization to a broader data platform, which plays into a broad array of IT processes.
Right. So when you're, and I'm assuming you also your previous clients in addition to the BD&A ones, how do you explain to them that added value that you guys were already providing from a Flexera perspective, but now with the BD&A capability? How do you explain that value? Because that's one of the things that we've been talking about, especially obviously the keynote today was really looking, let's get out of the tech talk and let's really start talking more about the actual services and value that organizations are really in need of.
Yeah, so the Flexera platform previously was centered around software license optimization. All of our data was centered around helping organizations better manage software licensing.
Right.
The BD&A platform enables us to expand well beyond software licensing. It enables us to get into things like IT financial management, IT business management, IT service management even further, enterprise architecture. So there's a broad array of enterprise use cases that the BD&A platform enables us to deliver to customers now.
Right.
Yeah, so what challenges is that helping you to solve for your customers? What are they coming to you and say, how can you help me with this? What's the biggest challenges you see them facing?
Yeah, well, the key thing is that we have a bigger, broader set of data now to deliver and automate IT business processes with. Again, before we were fairly centered on software licensing, right? And now today we can help address people with understanding enterprise architecture, what applications should be in their environment, what should be whitelisted, what should be blacklisted.
Right.
We can help organizations now understand security holes in their environment based on the end of service life data that BD&A brings to the table. So that's just a couple of small instances of where we think we have a bigger, better data play now across a large enterprise.
Right.
The interesting thing is that prior to the acquisition, we probably had 60 or 70 joint customers between us.
Oh, wow.
So the value prop was seen already between those customers. That proved to us that there's a market for both the data platform play as well as the software license optimization play.
Right. Yeah. So for the folks that are watching that maybe aren't as familiar with the BD&A component of what it provides, talk a little bit about what it really does and enables you to really provide to your customers.
Yep. So what we acquired was really the world's largest IT asset management database, full of not only identification of and normalization of IT asset data, right, but a wide variety of metadata around that as well. So you'd look at things like I mentioned, end of service life. Well, that's not only for software, but for hardware, right? We mentioned things like Windows 10 compatibility tests that are built into that as well. So once you identify applications and you're going to be migrating them through Windows 10 and beyond, the ability to understand if, in fact, there's compatibility issues there or not.
Sure.
Right? These are all extensive capabilities that the BD&A platform delivers to us that previously we simply didn't have. And when you look at that, it enables us to cover many more use cases for customers, and it enables us to cover a lot more applications and data about those applications than what we had on our own.
Right.
We inherited a much larger, call it a data research team as part of this, which is giving us more capacity. as well as the fact that BDNA was starting to branch out into other areas like IoT device data,
Right.
medical
Yep.
device data, understanding potential vulnerabilities or flaws in medical devices, right?
Yeah,
Which are all
that's-
things that
yep.
are very, very critical
Yes.
in the market
No,
right
they
now.
certainly are.
Yeah, the medical device area is one that I don't think the industry has a full appreciation for how,
Right.
in my opinion, how
Yeah.
vulnerable we
Yes.
are
Yeah.
Yeah.
in that space. If those areas were audited the way we do some
Yeah.
other stuff, I
Okay.
think we'd all be
Yeah.
a lot more
Yes.
concerned about. And I'm not saying that they're not going through their audits, but I know a lot of folks in that space that some of these devices are they're all networked.
Yeah.
They all have their levels of vulnerability. To your point, if for lack of a better term, if the image of what the OS and software that it's running isn't up to date,
Yep.
so I would think that that's a huge potential, and huge vulnerability for certain organizations.
Well, it is, and that also plays into the bigger, broader view of how Flexera views the market, right? Which is fundamentally that the software supply chain is a is a very dysfunctional supply chain.
Yeah, it
and that
is.
things
Yes.
that occur upstream have a dramatic impact on what happens to customers using those technologies downstream. And we across the board try and address issues across, whether it's open source usage, license usage, vulnerable software usage, and now with the BDNA data platform, we try and address those specific problems at various stages across the software supply chain. But your example of medical devices is spot on, Carlos.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Kirsten.
Yeah, I just say, we're in an era when things are changing, not monthly or weekly or daily. They're changing by the
Minutes and
minute,
seconds.
by the
Yeah.
minute, and being able to keep track of that, and being able to, and knowing that you've always got the right data at your fingertips is critical.
Absolutely, and as we look at it internally, we're talking about data that we want to make available to everybody
Yeah.
on every device everywhere.
Yes.
Is the bigger, broader view of what we're trying to do with
Yeah.
with our data play here.
Yeah, I mean, to that point of speed and pace and cadence, especially in this lean, agile world now, we don't really have the time for an individual to look at that and see, oh, it's different. The detection of that, and I don't want to say real time, but near real time, and the alert of it, it may be legit, it may not be legit, is key. Or if it's diverged from the known instance or the known gold image, for lack of a better term, I would think whether that's the industry defined one or that corporate defined image, I would think is a huge play in terms of, can we become the lean, agile company that we want if we don't have this capability in place?
No, you're spot on. I mean, another example of being able to respond quickly, right, is that one of our other acquisitions, Secunia, which has application vulnerability content. We actually have a research team that researches software vulnerabilities, and the idea that the data platform marrying up that vulnerability content with the data platform and being able to identify
Yes.
vulnerable software environments and then do things like quickly fire off a ticket to ServiceNow, for instance. Right, to be able to alert that there's a vulnerability
Yes.
out there and what the critical nature of that vulnerability could be, helps people be as proactive as what they
Yes.
can be in resolving issues like that.
Right.
Yeah, I can see that being a really positive thing for you to do,
Yes.
to be able to pinpoint those vulnerabilities before they actually hit you in the face.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Tim, thank you very much for your time today.
Ah,
It's been a very interesting chat.
No,
And
thank you guys
good luck
very
for the
much. A
future.
pleasure again,
Thanks.
and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.